If you have big dreams for learning a new language but have very limited time for studying and often find that your job or busy schedule gets in the way of achieving those dreams, then this is the video for you. Learning a new language takes consistent time and effort, and it can be really easy to feel overwhelmed or like there's no time to squeeze it in. Today I'm going to talk about how we can most effectively self-study a new language around a busy lifestyle. If you're new here, my name's Izzy, I'm a Cambridge graduate and a doctor working in London, and on the side I learn Mandarin Chinese in any free time I can get. Making space for language learning is something that I have spent a lot of time and energy figuring out how to do. For more than a year, I've been juggling studying Mandarin Chinese while also being a full-time medical student at Cambridge and now a doctor working full-time in London. Whether you're working, studying, or busy with anything else at all, in this video I'll break down the main steps that I use in order to schedule my language learning to continue to make progress with my Mandarin Chinese. In this video, we'll talk about understanding your learner profile, finding, magnifying, and protecting any time that you have for studying a language around your busy schedule. And finally, we'll talk about study efficiency and how we can maximize this, as we're short on time already, so we've really got to make the most of any minutes that we can get. The first step is to understand your personal learner profile. So this essentially means understanding how you learn best. We're all different and we all learn in different ways. The best way to figure this out is by trying a few different learning styles out and seeing what feels best to you. This ties in very closely with energy management. Monitoring when you feel the most energy in the day and what kinds of study sessions suit you. So here I would think about whether you're a morning person or more of a night owl. Also think about the duration of study sessions that work best for you. For me, generally I prefer to study in shorter bursts of half an hour to maybe an hour. But some people like to sit down for maybe a few hours of really deep focus. Also bear in mind what helps give you energy and give you motivation to actually study a language. A lot of this is about discipline rather than motivation, but at the end of the day, it's way more enjoyable if we're having fun with our learning journey. So figuring out learning strategies that you actually enjoy and suit you is going to make everything so much smoother. This includes having some fun options as part of your language learning portfolio. So let's say you get home from work and you're feeling absolutely knackered. Instead of just completely cancelling your study session that you'd scheduled, you can take a slightly more middle ground approach and understand and recognise that you're feeling tired, but still choose to do something that is going to help your language learning overall, such as watching a movie in your target language. The second thing is to honestly evaluate your schedule and then block out time for your studying. This means looking for any time gaps in your schedule and being very realistic about what you can actually achieve. I personally use Google Calendar for scheduling pretty much everything in my life. So whatever kind of calendar scheduling you use, schedule in your language learning time ahead of time and make sure that you protect it. It's easy to just cancel your language learning slot if you want to meet a friend for coffee or if you're just feeling a bit tired, but remember that this is precious time that you want to dedicate to your language goals and dreams. Don't let yourself down. I do this on a week-by-week basis, so every single Sunday I will sit down with my calendar and block out a few hours of language learning throughout the week. This is also a really good time to plan slots for any online tutoring, such as on italki, or if you have a language buddy, scheduling sessions with them gives you fixed slots where you're held accountable to actually showing up for your language learning. For me, if I do have a language learning session booked, but then I do have a change of plan and I want to meet a friend, I will make a point of moving that slot somewhere else in my calendar rather than just cancelling it outright. If possible at all, I want to try to make sure that I get 5 hours of language learning time per week. Unfortunately, this isn't always going to be easy, but it is going to be worth it, I promise you. The third step is looking for anywhere that you can habit stack. So can you multitask while doing something else that you have to do and also learning your language at the same time? For example, I commute to the hospital every day, which takes around 1 hour each way. In this time, I like to do my Chinese Anki flashcards or listen to a Chinese podcast. Another example of this is my morning routine. Whenever I do my morning routine and brush my teeth, do my morning skincare, I just turn on a Chinese podcast in the background and listen to that. That means that essentially if I've done my morning routine and if I've done my commute, then I've stacked the habit of learning Chinese on top of those existing habits that I already have. This helps to make the most of any dead time that you have in the day where you can actually be multitasking and working on your language at the same time. The fourth step is having a game plan. This means planning the actual content you're going to study ahead of time for maximum efficiency when you actually do arrive at your study session. So you've already decided when you want to study and put that into your Google Calendar. Now you just need to decide what to study. So if you decide all of this ahead of time when you plan out your week, let's say for me on Sunday, it's all already planned out for you so you can just get straight into it and start executing on your language learning plan. This serves two main functions. Firstly, it helps me to just get started with my language learning session. There's less mental friction with getting started because I already know what I'm supposed to be doing. And secondly, it makes sure that I'm focusing my study energy where it's really needed the most. When we make our weekly plan, we can make sure that our study sessions have a good balance of working on different language skills, including speaking, reading, writing, listening, in order to create a holistic improvement in our language ability. This brings me on to my last point, which is study efficiency. Study efficiency is the crux of all of this because while studying with very limited time, we want to make sure that we're maximizing the impact that time has by using effective studying techniques. For language learning, using things like spaced repetition software such as Anki is really helpful. Listening to podcasts, having speaking sessions, and also practicing reading with extensive reading and graded readers are all really efficient ways to learn. And also there are several books that I would recommend on this, including one called Fluent Forever by Gabriel Weiner. I hope this video was helpful or interesting in some way. If you enjoyed this video, you might like this one over here where I talk about my part-time language learning strategy for optimizing efficiency. Wishing you all the very best with your language learning journey. If you have any other tips for learning a language around a busy schedule, then please leave them in the comments below and help each other out. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. As always, take care of yourself and I will see you in the next video. Bye!